Hello, everybody. From me, Patrick Hilt, I will show you how to organize your knowledge with Citavi. This is a special bit that only Citavi provides in this depth. Other reference management programs are not able to do this. The rest with how to enter data and all that, I will leave that for today. Today we'll see how to analyze PDF files, how to extract passages, how to organize them, sort them, and how to then create a publication with Word with the help of Citavi. So let's jump in. I'll show you first. We've got a PDF file that explains how to analyze PDF files, how to do the extraction. The link is very simple. Let me see. I will show you here. This is the PDF file. And the link you have to go to is citavi.com/PDF-guide. And this takes you to this page. So citavi.com/PDF-guide. It's a 20-some page PDF file that explains all the different things, how PDF files can be analyzed with Citavi. Okay, so we'll go right into Citavi and I'll show you. This is the right-hand column. This is where the PDF file is shown. Now I can hide the left pane, which means that this pane is bigger. I can pull it over a bit so it's even bigger, or I can show only the right-hand pane, which makes the PDF even more easy to read. Let's go here and I'll show you now that there is a third option. These 4 arrows here. Open in full screen allows me to open the PDF file in a different window. It's popping up here. Okay, so this is with all the Citavi bits removed, is only the PDF. And this is probably the nicest way to do it, because you have Citavi with all the rest of the program, and you have the PDF file here where you can read and do stuff. If you've got 2 screens, that's probably the most convenient way to work with PDF files. Okay. Yeah, let's keep that open for the moment. Let's see what we can do here. First, I've got the content section here. The abstract is empty. Let's go back to Citavi. I highlight the abstract and click here on abstract. And Citavi then copies the highlighted text into the abstract window. And you can see here it is linked. You can see this is the abstract now. So this is quite nice to get the abstract into Citavi. Keywords, same thing. I highlight the keywords. And now I do keywords. And I get this little window. The dot in the end I can delete. I could add other keywords here as well by hand, or I can just keep it that way. Keywords are separated by semicolon, comma, or you could enter here something else if the separation here was different. Every keyword has to be on a separate line. Okay, and now they are copied here into the keyword field. Okay, let's go on. Now, we have several possibilities here. I can highlight text with a yellow marker. And this yellow marker only highlights the PDF, only the text. That's similar to what you can do with Acrobat, for example. You highlight it, and you have to open the PDF file to see the highlighted text. In Citavi, it's the same thing. If you want to see what you highlighted, you have to open the PDF file and then look at it here in Citavi. You could go through and say, okay, this might be interesting. So this might be a way to go quickly through the text and then highlight the different sections that you find interesting, that you want to have a closer look at. Okay, so that's the yellow highlighter. And then there's the red highlighter. The red highlighter is different. The red highlighter creates so-called knowledge items. Knowledge items can be used for the structuring of your report or your paper or your book that you're writing. It creates, you can see here in the quotations bit, it creates a so-called knowledge item, which is linked to the PDF file, to the exact position in the PDF file. And the red highlighter, I created that here. So red highlight, marking text, and then it creates this knowledge item. As you can see, the text, the page number is already automatically inserted. Citavi does that automatically. If it's not inserted automatically, it happens. Look at the first one and change it or enter it manually. And Citavi will then calculate the correct page number for the subsequent knowledge items automatically. Citavi will take care of that. We'll look at the the number entered on the first knowledge item. We'll check, okay, on what page is that? 3 pages on, and will then calculate the correct page number for subsequent knowledge items. Okay, this is so the yellow and the red highlighter, but Citavi has got more to offer than just highlighting. Let's see, we have here a section that we find particularly striking, interesting, that we want to use in our own paper. I can create here a direct quotation. So Citavi highlights the text, takes the page number, creates a core statement. The core statement is created automatically based on the first few words. I suggest that you create your own core statement, because in Word and later also in Citavi, all you can see at first sight is the core statement. So you might want to summarize the text yourself. It's not just the first few words might not be really good enough to later rediscover what is written, what is presented in the text that you have in the text section. So you might want to write your own summary to remember what this is about. Okay, so this is the knowledge item direct quotation. I'll go through, and this is another section I find interesting. And here I'm not going to create a direct quotation, but a comment. So here, my comment to this section. So this is not a quotation, but it's still my comment is about this exact section. So it is linked and the page number is inserted, and I can then quote or refer to this section in my publication. Okay, let's go on. Okay, this is nice. This is an image. We've got the possibility to create an image quotation. And Citavi creates the image quotation, high res, okay, and it is added here as well. Let's go back to the text, and here I've got a larger section, and I summarize this. This is my summary. And here I get the link to this part of the text with my summary as a separate knowledge item. Just for the sake of it, I'll highlight another section and create an indirect quotation. This is my indirect quotation. Now, what is the difference between an indirect quotation and a direct quotation? Of course, the direct quotation, I quote the author of the paper I'm referring to, so word by word. It's not my words, it's the author's words, and I credit that. And indirect quotation is similar. It's my own words, but the thoughts, the ideas are from the author. So I have to credit that as well, otherwise it would be plagiarism. The indirect quotation, I have my words, and the section here referred to is from the author. So my summary, and the difference between the indirect quotation and the so-called summary is, in fact, in relation. That is, normally, if I summarize a text, I will make a very dense, in my own words, I will summarize it in very less text than the original. Whereas the indirect quotation, the relation will be different. It will not be the same length, but the text will be in relation to the original longer than in the summary. Otherwise, it's the same thing: indirect quotation or summary. Okay, so these are the this is a very quick overview of what you can do with these direct quotations, the knowledge items, and so on. There's some more things. Let me highlight again. I could create tasks as well: discuss, examine, read, for example. I will leave that for another time. You will find all these things in the PDF guide. So now what you can do is, while you're reading, and this is, I think this happens quite frequently, you're reading something and you all of a sudden you have an idea for your own work. So it's got nothing directly to do with the paper or with the text you're reading. The idea pops into your head, and you can create the idea directly here in Citavi. It's called Thought. So you click on it, and Citavi creates here a text. And this is my own idea. And I click OK, and it's stored, but it is not stored here, because this, as you can see here, let me now close the PDF file. So this is the PDF file as highlighted in Citavi. And here you can see the knowledge items that I extracted. The indirect quotation, direct quotation in blue with the colors, you can always see what it is. And these two red markers, red highlights that are also here visible in the quotation and comment section. I cannot see my own thought, my own idea, because it's not related to this publication here. This is independent from my from this paper. So it's not showing up here, but we will look at it where we find it. We'll see that later. Okay, now sometimes you have PDF files without extractable text. In that case, all you can do is create snapshots of sections of this PDF file. Unless you try and OCR it with a different separate program and then re-enter it into Citavi. So if you have this PDF file as an image because it was sorry, it was put on a scanner but without OCR recognition, then you would be able to create snapshots of the section. Then you would have to type the text. But that's also dealt with in the PDF guide. Now, all these elements here and the text, the highlighted text or the colored text in the PDF, they are like transparent layers on top of the file. So they are not in the PDF file, not inserted as in Acrobat, where when you highlight something, it is in the PDF file in Acrobat. That's not the case with Citavi. It's layers that are put, transparent layers that are put on top of the section. In fact, if I open the PDF file in Acrobat, then I don't see anything. There are no colors, there's no layers. The PDF file is untouched. It is just in Citavi that I have these sections that are colored. Okay, so this is the first part of my presentation where we highlight, where we summarize, where we extract interesting bits and pieces from one or more PDF files. And I find them here close to the title in this quotations and comments tab with a link to the relevant section. So if I click here, I can always see what sections the knowledge item refers to. Now let's go to this content section and see what else we can do with these knowledge items. We've got keywords, we've categories, and we've got groups. Let me quickly explain to you the difference. Keywords refer to the content of this publication, and they allow you to search thematically in the titles of your database. So if you work with keywords, you enter keywords, ideally your own keywords, that you decided upon and that you then give, attach, or assign systematically to all titles in your database. Then you can search thematically via keywords. Categories and groups. Groups is basically everything that is not keywords. So keywords is thematically, what is this text about? And groups can be used for anything, for group bibliography. Sometimes you've got published papers and unpublished papers, or electronic sources and printed sources, something like that. You can use groups for that. You can use it for reading lists, to-do lists, things you want to look at later. So you create groups for anything that is basically not keywords. And categories can be used for two things mostly. One is to develop a classification, so basically hierarchical keywords, mammals, cats, and so on. So hierarchical structuring, and that is what we are going to look at now. Categories can be used for the outline of your text, of the text to be written, of your publication, of your paper, of your your book you're writing. So the categories can be the table of contents, basically, of your dissertation. And let's see how they work. I click on the blue text categories, and this window opens. Let me expand all the already present categories, and you can see it starts with introduction, definitions and background, cases, and the last chapter is conclusion. So this is basically a paper or a book. And I can assign now, titles to different sections, to different chapters. Now let's see how to create a new category. And it's very simple. I can click here on subcategory and I write sub introduction. And I can move it with the arrows. I could move it up, move it down, delete it again. So it's very easy to create new categories here and to move them around to create the structure. You could start out simple, introduction, main section, conclusions, and then work from that. You could also enter the categories by importing them from a Word document. So if you have got a Word document with the formatting that is, what's it called again, headings, the styles, so heading 1, heading 2, and so forth. If you have a paper, a PDF document where you have the headings, then you can import this document into Citavi and it extracts the headings and creates categories for that. It's very simple here. It's not from here. Let me close that. But here in this section, you can see same thing. I could go to the bottom and click right, import category system from a Word document. So I could import here a category system, the structure of that you have created in Word already, and import it into Citavi. Okay, so this is basically the general how to work with these categories. And now let's see. Torgrim, are there any questions by any chance?
Sorry, Patrick. Let me see. I can't see if there are. Yeah, I guess we can take one if you have time. So,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I want to simultaneously read 2 or 3 PDF papers and add annotations. Can I do that with Citavi?
Yes, yeah, of course, that's possible. I'll show you how to do that. Here, if I open this paper in full screen, yeah, we did that before. Now I click here on this one, and I open that in full screen. And as you can see, there's only the last one visible because the first one is overwritten. It only automatically opens the last one. But there is a way to have more than one PDF file open at the same time. And that is by clicking the shift key on your keyboard before you hit F11 here. And then we get this one and the other one as well. As you can see, now I have two open. And if I want to open the third PDF file, I can go to it. Let me see, that is the third one, and Shift on the keyboard, click it, and then I get all three of them opened in 1, 2, and 3. Whereas the third one is on my different screen, so here. So you can see that is the way to open more than one PDF file. If we want to compare things, that is most useful. So Shift and then click on the arrows. Okay.
Thank you,
So,
Patrick.
you're welcome. Now, you might wonder, we're here in the references section, here in the category. Let's have a look at this again. Now, if you are writing a dissertation, you might want to publish a paper at the same time. So you to already present part of your publication of your dissertation, your results in a separate paper, and you want to work with the same Citavi project. How can you do that? It is possible to do that with a hack, and I'll show you the hack. I will create a new category, and this is paper 1, and I move that up, and then I create another category, and I call that dissertation. And now I move these sections under the dissertation. So I can see this is a way to have here. And in the paper, I can create new subcategories, introduction, and so on. This way I have both one publication and a second publication in the same structure in Citavi. Okay. We're working with knowledge items, not with the categories referred to the titles. So let's go to the knowledge section and see what we can do here. These knowledge items, here we can see all knowledge items that are presently organized alphabetically by, as you can see here, the core statement. So alphabetically organized by core statement, which is not so very useful. I have here no categories, also alphabetically. These are all the knowledge items that have not been categorized yet. So all these are like little pieces of paper where I have written information on, and they are not used yet anywhere. They have not been assigned to any section. Let's do that now. I will open here, expand all, open my structure, and I've got my image quotation here, and I will simply drop that on this section. As you can see here, this is my summary, and my summary, I will move that just for the sake of it to show you to the same chapter. Now, this is my comment, and I move that also to the same chapter. And this is my own idea. Here it is, the light bulb. I move that to the same chapter. Now, if I go back, you can see these elements have gone. They were still visible because I might want to use them in different sections in my paper. So they're not They don't disappear immediately, but now when I go away from the no category section into a chapter and then back again, then the original ones disappear. Causes of food fraud. This is the chapter I'm talking about. And now I can move these knowledge items, these sections of text, these index card, basically. It's called the index card technique, and it was used in before electronic times, but it's still very useful. So move them up, and this is my way of organizing the information within the chapter. So this is how I can, as if I had little index cards and I put them in the order in which I want to argue my point in this chapter. So I can highlight or several of them, and on the right hand side, I get an idea of how I am going to argue, as if I had index cards with the information written on them, put them into the order in which I want to argue my point. And I can quickly go back to the PDF file, to the exact section to read again what the context is. Okay, so you can see here, I've got now the knowledge items and I have put them into the categories where I want to use them in my paper. Because very often when I have the elements here, I already have an idea, a hunch of where I want to use them, even if I'm not already writing. I'd even say that it is useful to not immediately start writing, but first collect information and put it into the relevant sections where I then later want to use them. If you start writing immediately, you will not have access to the full information that you gather over time. And that will, if you put everything into a Word document, the document will grow, but you will lose a bit the access and control over the text. If you limit yourself first when you're still reading, if you limit yourself to collect the information, put it into Citavi, and then when you have a lot of information accumulated and collected, then when you have a better overview of what you are going to write about, then you can better assign the different knowledge items and put them into the chapters and order them, sort them within the chapters.
Patrick?
Yeah.
Here's Christine. Hi. There are some more questions in the
Okay.
meantime. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I will read them for you.
Mhm.
So first question, are the categories linked to the chapters in Word? What happens if I change a category in Citavi after having inserted it into Word?
Okay. Let's come to that in a minute, because
Okay.
in a minute we will go to Word and then we'll see how they are connected.
And there's another question, perhaps
Mhm.
this can be answered before. I want to write more than one paper plus my dissertation, but I want to use only one Citavi project. How can I use the categories to create an outline for both papers and dissertations?
Yes, that is possible, and I showed it here. Paper one and dissertation. So this is already here
Okay, covered.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let's see. We dropped the knowledge item into the desired category. So we can sort them within each category, but only here, only in the chapters, not in the all section and not in the no category section. So here they're always alphabetically sorted and also in the all section. Okay, so that's important to realize, to know, and then within each chapter you can sort them the way you want. Now, if you have too many elements, like here, too many elements and you lose oversight, what you can do is you could insert subheadings as here. This helps you to better structure these sections and to not lose control of what you actually have. Okay. Now let's go to Word. I already opened a Word document. It is still empty. This is the Citavi menu that is installed automatically when Citavi is installed. So if you have Word on your computer and you install Citavi 6, you will get this Citavi heading menu here. Citavi pane allows me to open here and assign a project to the document. This is the one that is open. I click on it. And what I get is here the references and organized by categories. Now I can change the view here and I can organize them by keywords, by persons, by titles, by short titles. By short titles, it's like this, so alphabetically, or by titles, similar to the short title. But since we use the categories, we will have here the references that have been categorized and here the knowledge items that have been categorized, right? So now let's see how we can start from here. Let's first export the knowledge items, no, the chapters, the categories as chapters. And this is how I do it. Right click, insert as heading, or here insert categories and knowledge items. I will first exclude the knowledge items and I will insert the subcategories from the current category. So from dissertation, I insert the sub headings. Now what I want to do is I want to have numbers here. Okay, sorry. I will want that for every okay, let's try again. It's only working for this one. Okay. So now you can see this is 1.1. It should be 1. That's because we inserted the dissertation and the paper. If you only have one structure, so no, not the paper mentioned, you will immediately get the right numbers. It's not a problem. I think it's in the view, the outline, and I move everything up by one level. And now it's right, it's correct. Got the introduction, definitions, and so on. And now if I go into the cases of food fraud, in the chapters, I get the references that have been assigned. You can see recent cases, I get the references and I get the knowledge items. Here I get the knowledge items ordered, sorted the way I want it to. So you can see this is very neat. Now I can go to a chapter and start writing. And I've got the elements that I have assigned the categories to right here. So it's very easy to insert them. So I insert my own idea. You see, there's no reference mentioned because this is just the text of my own idea. And now I insert a summary And behind the summary, you can see the source I'm referring to. Of course, this text would be different, but you get the idea. I can insert the image and so on. Direct quotation, and I get here the source directly behind. And you can see here the elements that I insert get a tick mark, and the ones I haven't inserted yet don't have this. So this helps me, this allows me to later assign other new elements when I have already written something. I'm still working with Citavi, and I will see them because they don't have the tick mark. So this is this is one way of working, of creating the paper. There's another way. If you have used, let me delete everything again. If you have used the knowledge attribution extensively, you can insert knowledge items, including, so insert the chapters, including directly all the knowledge items in the order in which you have sorted them in Citavi. So this is basically a way to create very quickly an outline of what you have collected so far. And you might then develop this into the finished paper. Let's just wait until it finishes. It goes through this whole section, so the dissertation section, and creates the, okay, and now it adds the sources. And you can see here, publication bibliography. This is the Citavi, this is the Citavi default style. And I have the publication bibliography, which contains all the texts mentioned, referenced in the text. So automatically this happens when you use Citavi. Now let's come back to the question Christine mentioned. I have got here this this chapter. Let's go back to the chapter we have been working on. Let me see. I think this is the one, causes of food fraud. So is this linked to the chapters, to the categories in Word? It is and it is not. As you can see here in the chapters, it obviously finds the right chapter. If I go to a different chapter here, it is correctly found. But this is because Citavi inserts invisible bookmarks from that are linked to the categories in Word, in Citavi. But I can change the text here without a problem. I can also change it in Citavi because I might find it useful. I decide at the last moment that I want to structure my chapters differently. I can do that. That's not a problem at all. Citavi copies them into Word, but they are not then automatically synchronized. So that's not a problem of if you change the text here or in Citavi. It is not automatically overwritten. On the other hand, if you want to have the same headings both in Word and in Citavi, you would have to change that on both sides. Okay. So we have exported everything. And let's see what we can do with a different citation style. This is the Citavi default style. It's an author date style. In the text, we get the author and the date plus the page number, and then we get a publication bibliography at the end. What I can do here, I can change the Citavi style. For example, I go to create. I want to use APA 7. So in this case, I select a different citation style in the word add-in here, and I get here a different look. This is APA 7, so both in the text as in the references. And I can add other citation styles here, the citation system, in-text author date, and in English, and I found these styles, so many different styles that use the author date format. The British Journal of Sociology, select that one, apply, and Citavi takes care of the rest. So you'll always get the correct result in the references section and in the text. Now we have got a couple of minutes, so I will show you one peculiarity. Let's go to here and save this document. This is an author date style. Now I start writing and all of a sudden I discover author date is not good. I need footnotes, because they want footnotes, the publisher. I saved my document, and I can change citation system, convert in-text citations to footnote citations. Now Citavi asks me for a new introduction footnotes. Citavi creates a copy of the document and now converts the fields. So as you can already see, here I get footnote numbers in the text behind the direct quotations, and here I get the footnotes. Let's select another, the CMOS, Chicago Manual of Style, in German, in this case, doesn't matter. So I get here the correct footnotes, and in the text I've got the footnotes. So this is necessary in case I started writing with one type, the author date, and then want to convert to footnotes, or the other way around is also possible. As you can see here, change citation system, convert in-text citations to footnote citations, or convert footnote citations to in-text citations. Of course, you might need to adapt the quotations in the text then after that. But this is a possibility. You don't have to start all over if you discover that you started with the wrong citation system. One very important remark, you should never open this document with LibreOffice or OpenOffice, even if it's a docx, because LibreOffice and OpenOffice destroy these fields. So if you open the document and save it, store it with LibreOffice or OpenOffice, these fields are destroyed. They cannot be used anymore by Citavi. Also, it is very important that you always save the document in docx, never doc. DOC is not enough. DOC does not allow for all the things we need to do with Citavi. So you need the newest the newest format, which is docx. So now I have this document and I want to hand it in to have it published, but I don't want to leave them these fields. Very often publishers don't want that. They don't want fields, they want just plain text. This is very simple. Here in Convert, I can save a copy as static text. Citavi asks me again, introduction, footnotes, plain text. And now Citavi, with a copy of my original document, it converts my Citavi fields into plain text, so there's nothing left. Let me see if there's a bibliography at the end. Yes, there is. And you can see here also, this is plain text. Now, if you want to do any changes here, you can do that. You can't change the fields directly, but here the text you can. So you can change everything in this document. If you happen to find sections that you still want to adapt and want to change, and then you can hand it in for publication. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. No, I think I got everything covered. And we have a few moments. If there are any questions, this is the moment to ask.
Yeah, thank you for the great presentation, Patrick. There actually is one question here. I have experienced that when I download an article in PDF format, the keywords of the author are downloaded automatically. Then I end up with a whole bunch of keywords that I'm not interested in. Can I deactivate this function, automated download of keywords?
Yes, you can. In Citavi, in Tools, Options, you can here in the search include keywords for online search and import, and for ISBN download include keywords or not. So if you deactivate it here, they're not imported.
Thank you. Great.
Another suggestion you might want to use, you can have both. If you, for your own keywords, if you create your own keywords, I suggest that you add, let's go here to the keywords, that you add an underscore in front of your own keyword, as here. And these keywords are always to be on top. Always going to be on top because the underscore comes before the letters and the numbers. So you can see here, these are my own keywords and these are the ones that are inserted. And they will always stay together because of the underscore in front. That's just a hack suggestion from me.